and that is the Big 12, which got absolutely upended today thanks to Central Florida. My goodness, UCF blows out number 15 Oklahoma State 45-3. Smoked them. Absolutely smoked them. Central Florida running back R.J. Harvey, who was running all up and down Oklahoma back when people was telling me that, Central Florida is not very good. I don't disagree with you. But he went for 206 against Oklahoma State. Okay? And then they held Ollie Gordon in check. Like, this is a dude whose PR staff is sending out Heisman invitations. Like, I'm a member of the Football Writers Association of America, right? We put in the first ballot for All-Americans on Friday. Along with that, we got, Heisman candidate Marvin Harrison Jr. And I'm looking at this, I'm going, why do I have a Heisman candidate, Ollie Gordon? Oh, yeah, that's because that dude's been absolutely decimating Big 12 teams, except Central Florida. Not only did Central Florida smoke Oklahoma State, it is Central Florida's first win against a legacy Big 12 member. They got their first Big 12 win against Cincinnati last week. Gus Malzahn finally has his team looking like something that we recognize offensively. And then what they were able to do against that Oklahoma State offense is frankly impressive, because Oklahoma couldn't stop Alan Bowman, couldn't stop Ollie Gordon, couldn't do much at all with that offense last week. But it seems like Oklahoma State left its entire game at Bedlam, selling out to go win that game, which, you know what? I don't fault you for that. I would have sold out to go win that game too. But if I saw a 42-point deficit in the offing, maybe I would have held a little something back. You know what I'm saying? So what does this mean for the Big 12? Okay. It means that the Big 12 championship race is wide open. Now, Texas playing Texas Christian, and we will talk about that game again on Sunday, along with Ole Miss Georgia and along with USC Oregon. But suffice it to say, Texas better take care of business against the Texas Christian team that has owned them in the last 5, 6, 7 years. Okay. That's one. Two is, either way this goes, either Oklahoma, who's playing West Virginia presently, and we'll talk about that game tomorrow, or Iowa State, with a win against BYU later tonight, will join Kansas State and Oklahoma State in a 4-way tie for second place in the Big 12, which leads us to tiebreakers. Now, also naturally leads me to talking about how Oklahoma can make the Big 12 championship game. Now, the reason that I'm going to lean into that is A, is me. B, is because it's actually important, because Oklahoma has the only win against Texas this year, and that can be a tiebreaker as we're looking into this thing. Now, the Sooners need some help from both Texas and Kansas going into the weekend, and turns out they got help from Kansas and may still get help from Texas. So Texas needs to lose one of its last 3 games against Texas Christian, at Iowa State, and versus Texas Tech team that just beat Kansas 16-13, or Kansas needs to lose one of its, and it has, right? 16-13 to the Red Raiders. That game was also riveting. Jason Bean goes out early in that game, and Devin Neal got him back into it, tied the game up, 26 seconds left to go. Texas Tech gets a field goal, goes and earns this win. But the head-to-head tiebreakers go like this. Oklahoma has the edge over Texas should the Longhorns lose another conference game. However, with Oklahoma State owning the head-to-head tiebreaker over the Sooners, the Cowboys need to lose 2 of their final 3 games for OU to be back in that place. So Oklahoma State lost 1. They lose another one. That might be all she wrote. Now, again, Texas is totally capable of blowing one of these last 3 games because it's Texas, right? This is really interesting for this race because Texas feels like the only team that can make the college football playoff out of the Big 12 right now. Matter of fact, I would just say it. Texas is the only team that can make the college football playoff out of the Big 12. But again, do you want that spot? And who would that spot go to? This is why Washington or Oregon can't afford to let down or let up, right? Same thing I think is true for Florida State. I think, again, the SEC champ, the Big Ten champ, they got nothing to worry about. But those other 3 conferences, they got everything in the world to worry about. And it's all to play for if you are one of those 4 teams. Kansas, Oklahoma State, Oklahoma, Kansas State. I mean, I'm fascinated to see how this goes. But more than anything else, I would love nothing more than Oklahoma and Texas to get to the Big 12 title game because, well, it's on their way out. And they would lock out all the legacy members and the new members who, by the way, have not had a great first year in the Big 12 title race. But all of a sudden, it looks like Oklahoma got a little bit of help and a little bit of hope going in the rest of the season, but they got to take care of business against a 6-3 West Virginia team, maybe 7-3. I got it mixed up right now, I think, but a good, very good West Virginia team going into tonight.
If you like what you've seen, consider subscribing to the #1 college football show on YouTube, the Fox Sports app, or wherever you get your podcast.